Hey, hi, good evening, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Wednesday night. It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you all. I, of course, am the one and only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live, loud and clear from the swamps of sunny Central Florida. And I hope you guys are having an absolutely extraordinarily good evening. We're doing awesome, guys. Last night, I cannot believe this like blows my mind. Just last night we had like 114 people watching the live stream, which for me is huge. I get it that for a lot of like if you stream uh regularly or you watch a lot of live streams, that probably doesn't matter to you. Like 112 people, 112 people on a stream, 114 people on a stream is a disaster for a lot of people who stream. They would look up at that and say, oh my god, what's wrong, what happened. I got to get my agent on the phone. But no, for me that was that was a stone groove, man. And I really appreciate everybody who hung out with us, everybody who has subscribed. And let me ask you a favor: if you haven't done already, please do hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications to make sure you get notes about all the times that we do videos, live streams, shorts, interviews, live plays, any of that stuff. You will find just by dint of subscribing and joining up with the 8,917 people. That's right, 8,917 people who have come along for this great, awesome thing that we do. I'm excited that you guys are here. Mark Hyde, hello to Australia. You've come back after a significant absence. Couldn't be happier. Well, you know what? I'm glad you're back, man. In fact, let me raise a pint of the black stuff to you, sir. Welcome back. So it's good to have you here. Charlin Ho says AD, a bunch of scrambled characters because ampersand does not translate over UTF second edition. I'm a first edition AD&D guy, my friend, but you do what makes you happy. I like the D&D that's got all the warts and all the black magic and the proper drow and the D&D of Greyhawk and assassins and half orcs. It's where the black magic is. That's my jam. Yes, Bingo Man Zero, you got me. I'm drinking a big glass of Vegemite. It's close to it. I mean, it's a fairly yeasty beer, this. So, but no, this is just a pint of Guinness that I'm enjoying. A delicious pint of Guinness. But yeah, last night we talked a lot about we talked a lot about the dual classing in AD&D. Of course, we had Gonzalo Lira's bar tab. We had great old ones on. But anyway, speaking of, there he is in the audience. Back at me with your water. I gotcha. But anyhow, yeah, no, we had a lot of fun last night chatting, and we can have a lot of fun chatting right now. I want to talk to you guys about something. This is completely not TTRPG related. David Montgomery having a lager, excellent. Cheers to you, my friend. Michael Connor, good to see you. Hail Lobster Unbreaded. But there's something I would like you guys to do if you haven't done this already. If you are on X, Twitter, call it what you will, Let me see if I can bring this up here. Is it in my notifications? That's not the one, although that's a nice piece of art. Here we go. This is kind of what I'm after. Oh, dang it, I can't find it. I'm sure I can find it if I just click here. If I just click go home. Hang on a second. But anyway, someone has joined up with Twitter. Someone has created Glenn Hallstrom, drive-by comment, boom. See you out there. Master Sergeant Mike Vining. If you don't know who Mike Vining is, look up the meme, son, do you even operate? He is this absolute unit of a guy who is a plank owner of Delta Force. Okay. Mike Vining helped create Delta Force. He looks like a math teacher. He looks like an accountant. This guy, you may not like it. You may not like it, but let me tell you something right here. Let me share this real quick. That is what peak operator performance looks like, guys. He has got a hell of an interesting story to tell. So if you're on Twitter, he is at blasting through. I will just paste his URL. This has nothing to do with TTRPGs, but Mike Vining is pretty much one of those guys that you look at and say he's a soldier's soldier. Do recommend Mike Vining. Kabuki, good to see you, Oli. So yeah, definitely check out Master Sergeant Vining's account, because it is cool. FMKT8WG, that box of Hero Quest in the box. Yeah. So you know what? You've gotten us off onto gaming, on a good gaming start there. A few years ago, Milton Bradley actually did a crowdfunding thing. Now, my hat's off to them. It was pre-sales. They did it like a Kickstarter with stretch goals, and they set up this very clever website that made it look like it was, oh wow, yeah, we gotta do the thing where, oh, we're trying to make enough money to make this. No, it was just pre-sales. But they reissued Hero Quest with all of the add-ons for it. And I, at that time, and it was partially because, was it? Oh, I don't remember. But I had the funds, right? I had the funds. I went full ham. I got all of the expansions for Hero Quest, and it's this great game. If you don't know Hero Quest, guys, it is a phenomenal oh, the bastard princess. I don't want to call it a role-playing game because it's not. It is an adventure war game. This is Return of the Witch Lord quest pack. And this has got a whole bunch of miniatures in it. Now, one thing that I like, now normally I am not the guy to run in and say, oh, well, we have to have this, that, and the other. But I love the fact that the expansion packs, you actually get, I'm not sure if it's Return of the Witch Lord or which one is it? Is it Keller's Keep? I don't think it's Keller's Keep either. We may have to do a glorious unboxing tonight. Do you guys want to do a glorious unboxing of Hero Quest tonight on the show, since Kyle's not here? Because we can do that. Okay, so it's not Return of the Witch Lord. It's not Keller's Keep. Well, our new guest, FMKT8WG. By the way, are you subbed? Are you subbed, FM? I'm just gonna call you FM. Because I only do stuff like this for my subs. But anyway, yes, I know what I just said. There is one that I got all the expansion crap. I was just like, I have never had the funds to do this. I'm doing this right now. I'm just gonna do it. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I have not Mobius. I'm going to someday. Knock on wood when I say that. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But I just went all in. I was like, you know what? I want it all. I want all of the expansion stuff for the new Hero Quest. And so I got it. By the way, much love to Kabuki Kid. She is a Space Hulk aficionado. Love Space Hulk. I've demoed Space Hulk on the channel before. It's been a long time, but I actually played Hero Quest at Guac. I will do a stretch goal for Guac. I will let you guys know what it is. But I will run a Hero Quest game at Guac with the right motivation. Yeah. If you like it, by definition, you're an aficionado. You have an affection for it. Anyway, so let me see. I don't know that I can get the cameras set up. I may just spell check for aficionado. Yes. But I got all the stuff. And one of the things that I really liked was all of the characters in Hero Quest with female alts. I thought that was pretty cool, that like a stretch goal would let you do that. Because, guys, I'm all about female barbarians. What can I say? It's been a minute since I've looked in here. I'm trying not to accidentally press the keyboard. Another cracking unboxing. Let's see, what do we got here? I think this is just that's just a paper ring that went around something. I kept everything for this, and I'm going to keep keeping everything for this. Well, David, I won't disagree with you, but yes, this is your standard Hero Quest board. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something very cool about Milton Bradley, which is part of Hasbro. They did not do a, well, it's got to be, we've got to have, we've got to go current, current year on everything. They just took Hero Quest and brought it back to us. No, I haven't seen the D&D movie. I need to, Kabuki. But anyway, again, I'm trying not to tear anything here, guys. Oh, what do we got in here? Rule book. Is that a big expansion set there? Quest book. But yeah, here's the miniatures tray. And K-pop Demon Hunter. Yes, ma'am. K-pop Demon Hunter. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is just a standard furnishings, character sheets. If you've never played Hero Quest, You can get most of this stuff. You can actually buy this. It's not unobtainium. But yeah, you have a character. Those characters can progress a little bit through completion of quests. There's equipment cards. Broadsword. If you know the meme, you know the meme. In the book of the drow, they stress that the female drow dress very much the same as barbarians. I don't know what that is. So I'm trying to see, because I feel like there is another expansion that I have down in here. Is it underneath everything? Because this is the two pieces of the game. And I feel like there's more. Yes, there it is. Okay, I put it under the tray, hence the box standing up a little bit. Okay, you know what? I don't think it was another expansion. Rather, I just think when you bought both expansions and like paid the extra deluxe, you got the additional miniatures, and I think it's in this box that you get the alt miniatures. I will tell you this, Kabuki, if you like Space Hulk, I think this is it. This is the alt tiles and stuff like that. If you like Space Hulk, you will like Hero Quest. And it is very D&D like. Yeah. So there's the extra. This is the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. Now, one of these, I think this is the one that was made by Joe Manganiello. Yeah, we're never going to be able to see those miniatures on camera, guys. But yeah, Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. Yeah, so that's by Joe Manganiello. Prophecy of Taylor. Spirit Queen's Torment. But this is the one by Joe Manganiello. Well, Mobius, if you come to Guac, if you come to this year's Guac, I will be running a Space Hulk game. You can hop into the Space Hulk game with us. And we will play online. So let's see. Maybe I can get the Barbarian. Is this you gonna pop out of there? See, this is the problem. No, I don't think that is a Barbarian. But anyway, yeah, just a ton of cool stuff in the Hero Quest set. Does anybody, is a Hero Quest? Yes, there is a Hero Quest screen somewhere in here. Is there anything specific in the Hero Quest set anyone would like to see unboxed? And I can try and make that happen. I'm trying to do this and not dump a pint of Guinness into it. Let's see. Okay, so mythic contents, 4 hero miniatures, 18 monsters, 6 white combat dice, 14 game cards, 4 character cards, cardboard game tiles, 3 quest books, heroic contents, 5 miniatures, 4 cards. And I have the heroic. I have the heroic set, I think. Again, it's been a long time since I've opened this. So show off the furniture and torture rack. Boy, you guys are trying to get me in trouble on YouTube tonight. Sure. Let me, you know what? Let's do this. I personally think you guys are just waiting for something terrible to happen. Okay, this is characters and such like. Usually play. I'm just trying to read your comments too, guys, at the same time. Okay, I think this is the furniture and stuff. And somebody was asking about the Game Master screen. I know it's in here. It is. Game Master screen. Okay. Here we go, guys. Now, one thing I'll tell you, if you're not familiar with Hero Quest, the furniture in Hero Quest, the best thing about Hero Quest is the furniture. The furniture, the doors, everything was all originally cardboard with little plastic grommets that held it together. So like well here, we'll get this out. I know we will. This fireplace piece. You know what? Let's do a zoom. That fireplace piece was all cardboard. There were one or two little gewgaws on it that were plastic that you popped through holes in the cardboard. But when they redid it, they resculpted everything in plastic. And in fact, I've got a bunch of those gewgaws. I've got skulls. I've got rats. Let's see. Torture chamber. One of my cards just went flying. I've got to get that in a second. Here's a rack. There's a torture rack. Here's an evil altar. Boy, you know, it's really kind of ballsy. It's got a lot of guts not wanting to come out. I guess you could say it's got an alter ego. I said, I guess you could say it's got, what do you people know from funny? Let's see. Fred 1219 laughing. Thank you very much. Has anyone seen the Power Dice expansion? It's a hack, but it's different dice with modifications. One dice might contain more successful attack, defense for you and the enemy. It's always sold out on Etsy. I have not seen such a thing. But you know, here's a chair. Just lots of little cool stuff came with this, and it all, you know, if you're just playing a D&D game, I mean, it's terrain. It's a box of terrain. The only thing I don't like is that the doors don't function. That, like, unlike Dwarven Forge, where the doors actually swing open, these don't. You either have an open doorway piece like that, or a closed doorway piece like so. So it's one or the other. And there's not an equal amount of each. As I was saying earlier, which I don't think you guys probably got a very good look at, there's the character sheets. Very simple. Very, very simple. You have player name, character, attack dice, defend dice, starting points for body and mind. Body is hit points, mind is spell power. Your body points are tracked on a grid. You have weapons and armor where you can fill that in. Quest completed. You can circle the number of quests, gold coins, potions, and other items. It's really, really, really simple. It's not a difficult game to grasp. In fact, we can do it. We can do a rules dive if you guys want. We can do a rules dive. Which we've done before, but it's been a minute. Actually, I did have a card go flying, so hold on. Potion of speed. I have a potion of slowness in my pint glass. Let me sit down for a minute before I knock anything off and see what you guys have been saying. Oh, YouTube's or Windows is trying to get me to restart. Remind me tomorrow, please. Learn that word from me. Yes, Gigas FM wants it. Oh, Gonzalo had a question. How would Mrs. Delver describe the aroma of my game room? Funk, resin, small time petty ass flea on the camels behind tier YouTuber desperation. does that help? Does that paint a picture? Fugzerain. Hey, fun boy. Yes, Joe Facetious, and I'm a renegade of funk. I will not give myself the appellation Dr. Funkenstein. There was only a one Dr. Funkenstein, and it ain't me. Play that funky music, DM. Lay down the buggy and make them all save or die. Save or die! The lair of Dr. Frightmarestein. Yes. Have to be very careful here. I call these kind of board games Japanese electronics. You ever buy high-end Japanese electronics and there's like you take it out of the box, you're never getting it back in the box precisely. The box is going to bulge up a little bit. The styrofoam end caps are not going to fit properly. Stuff's not going to fit in there right. Even if it's just the cabling, like everything else works, but you're not going to get the cables in those tight bread tie, wire tied down bundles. And that's what we've got going on here with me trying to put everything back in its boxes. But I'm working to where I can get to the rule book, and we're going to look at the rule book. I mean, I don't understand. It all fit at the factory for Hasbro. Don't give up my day job. Bad news, David. This is my day job. Oh my gosh, don't tell anybody, but I think I may have figured it out. That was the box. Yeah, that did it. I got to figure it out. Okay. All right. Finally, at long last. The Hero Quest game system. Well, that only took half the damn night. All right, let me get caught up here. Half the game is figuring out how to put it in the box. Yeah. Listen to Longmont Potion Castle. Yeah, never heard of them. Eight expansions for Hero Quest. I can believe it. Okay, so we have the rules book. It's fairly lightweight. Not a lot of pages to this, but it is dense. And yes, Games Workshop made an advanced Hero Quest. It's like D&D and AD&D Hero Quest and Advanced Hero Quest. And then there's a quest book. This is basically 1 or 2 page adventure modules. They show you the quest master or quest keeper, where to put monsters on tiles and how to arrange the rooms on that big fold out map that we saw earlier. But yeah, let's take a little bit of a look at the Hero Quest game rules, such as they are. All right. If you are new to Hero Quest, what makes the game on page 4? What makes the game unique? What's in the box? How do you start? Let's see. What makes this game unique? One player can take on the roles of Zargon, the evil sorcerer and controller of the game. The other players assume the roles of the heroes, the barbarian, the dwarf, the elf, and the wizard. A game for 2 to 5 players, Hero Quest is played in 14 sequential gameplay sessions called quests. Each quest is described in detail in the quest book. One quest may take an hour or 2 to play, with each subsequent quest increasing in difficulty. So here's something, we'll just pump the brakes a little bit. Here's something. I don't know if Milton Bradley and Games Workshop, when they made this, understood the American Dungeons and Dragons player. I don't think they understood us, because we would start at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning or 9 o'clock on a Friday night and go until our parents came to our friend's house and collected us to get us cleaned up to go to church, or to make sure we did our homework to watch the ABC Sunday night movie, and then get ready to go to school the next day. And if it was summer, barring vacation, all bets were off. 14 2-hour quests was nothing. A dedicated 1980s middle school age D&D group could blow through Hero Quest in a weekend, and then it's done. It's over. But of course, there's explanations of how to make your own scenarios. But the main campaign that came with a box set before we got Keller's Keep and the other add-ons, that was no great hurdle. 14 quests, 1 to 2 hours each. Come on, you're talking to people who knocked out Against the Giants, like all of them, over the course of a couple of weeks in a summer. During a quest, a hero may acquire valuable treasures. These riches may be used between quests to purchase powerful weapons and protective armor from the armory. And you can, same here, Kabuki. You can tell this is from the US and not the UK. This is not a complete recreation of the UK version because armor is spelled ARMOR, not armor. The heroes work together to defeat Zargon and the evil sorcerer's forces of dread. Dread is capitalized. Dread! Defeat their forces of dread! I will read an entire section of this as Agent or Henchman 21 for a $20 super. I will do an entire section of this. Let's see. The adventure never ends. Additional quests are available in quest packs sold separately. And somebody was mentioning up the stream, FM said there's 8 expansion packs. That's a bunch. Now, when I was saying about time, 14 1 to 2 hour sessions, I'm in my 50s now. Now that's like, this is going to last me the rest of my life. Literally. So the game contents, monster miniatures, hero miniatures, furniture, skulls, rats, dungeon doors. See, 5 closed, 16 open. Good. See, David Montgomery, when he was in the Army, you look for things you could complete in 4-hour sessions. Now, I've told this story before, but a friend of mine, his dad was part of the Berlin Brigade in the early 1980s. And they used to play D&D over the radio nets. When they were like right up on the line, like right on the inter-German border. I don't mean just like field exercise. You're going out here, you're going to do this. They would get on the radio nets and play D&D over the radio nets. And they never got any flack for it. And I think probably the reason they didn't was likely because GRU and Spetsnaz didn't have the faintest idea what D&D was when they were talking about rolling to hit points, saving throw, magic spells, that sort of thing. They probably burned so much energy trying to crack the code that they were talking in. Okay, so choose your role. This is getting started. And there's a bunch of dice, of course. If you are getting started for the first time, punch out the cardboard tiles from the part sheet and put them aside. One player must take on the role of Zargon, the evil sorcerer. The other players then assume the roles of the heroes, the barbarian, the dwarf, the elf, and the wizard. If fewer than 5 people are playing, one person must still play as Zargon. So you see, it's you know, somebody's got to run the bank in Monopoly, right? This means you sit behind the game master screen, you control the quest for the other players. You alone know where the monsters, secret doors, treasures, and traps are located in the labyrinth. You alone have access to the quest book. If you are playing as Zargon, you will be running the quest. If necessary, read through the game rules first so you understand how to do this. And as you will see below, you must read through the first quest in the quest book. Remember, the quest book is for your eyes only. However, there are sections of each quest that you must read to the players. D&D speak is like being a wind talker. Yeah. Yeah, I can again, I can definitely see the Spetsnaz and GRU. There is a guy, Sonny. His first name is Sonny, and I forget his last name, but he was Spetsnaz. Sonny, his last name starts with a P, I think. But to hear the guy talk, you don't hear a Russian accent. If he talks long enough, you'll start to hear it coming out. But he very much sounds westernized in his voice, maybe just to my civilian ears. But he was stationed up there in the 80s too. And they used to get humant from spies in West Berlin. And when units would move up to the perimeter, U.S. units would move up to the perimeter, they'd do stuff like he would get on a loudspeaker right as the unit was positioning, and in this flawless American English say, "Hey, everybody. Hey, let's welcome Charlie platoon from the 43rd. They are moving into their positions tonight. Everybody, Charlie platoon. And I understand we have a new member of Charlie platoon. It's Corporal John Smith from Alabama. Everybody, round of applause for John Smith. We'll see you real soon, John. Take care." Just to screw with the American troops. Sonny Pazukias, that's his name, Sonny Pazukias. So they played their games and we played ours. Ours just happened to be made in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So it tells us to read the first quest, parchment text. Oh, bye, Kabuki. We'll see you around. The parchment text outlines the hero's challenge as well as the reward they will receive if they are successful. This section is always read aloud to the hero players at the beginning of the game. Now the thing about the board is it's very line of sight, and like when you go in rooms, line of sight is defined in terms of squares, and the game master sets up the furniture pieces. And like monsters, you may not see monsters until you go into a room. You may get ambushed by monsters. You don't know they're there. Place a game board on the table. Place character cards on the table. You have attack dice for each character. You have defend dice for each character. Your body points. The barbarian is the strongest with 8. The wizard is the weakest with 4. Mind points. The wizard has the greatest with 6. The barbarian has the least with 2. Direct the hero players to fill in their character sheets. Each hero player should fill in their character sheet with the starting body and mind points of their characters. If they wish, they may name their character. You don't have to just be the barbarian. See, we flipped back around tonight. We've got 62 of you guys watching on X and 15 of you guys watching on YouTube. Last night we had like over 100 watching on YouTube, but tonight it's a little different. So you look at the quest map and you place the pieces in the starting room, and then you sort the cards. There's treasure cards. Obviously, they represent treasure you found. Artifact cards, you keep those behind the Game Master screen. Monster cards, spread out the 8 monster cards and put them face up near the game board so hero players can easily refer to them. All of the information on these cards can also be found in the monsters chart or on the Game Master screen. The Dread spell cards, Robert. No, they're just the Dread spell cards. There are 12 Dread spells. These belong to Zargon and are very powerful, as you will discover in the quest notes. Keep these cards behind the Game Master screen. Some Dread spell cards will only be used with the quest packs sold separately. Hero spell cards, air, earth, fire, and water. Now remember, you can only show those cards in December. Buddy, say that you... there are 4 groups of hero spells, each of which represents one of the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Each spell group contains 3 individual spells. The spell groups are divided between the wizard and the elf. Direct the hero players to divide the hero cards. The wizard chooses one of the 4 spell groups. The elf chooses one spell group, and from the 3 that remain, finally the 2 remaining spell groups go to the wizard. The spells and their effects are detailed in the corresponding spell cards. If this is the player's first quest, the wizard should take the fire spells and the elf should take the earth spells, and the remaining spells should go to the wizard. Place the dice. Everybody gets their dice. And then we have a glimpse into the world of Hero Quest. It's fantasy world. Bad stuff is happening. And then we have order of play. Play begins with a hero seated to Zargon's left and continues clockwise. After all heroes have completed their turns, it is the evil sorcerer's turn. Zargon may move all monsters. Move all monsters! One of my favorite Toho pictures. Currently on the game board, this sequence continues until the quest is achieved or until the heroes leave the underworld. A good starting setup would be for the barbarian to sit to Zargon's left, followed by the dwarf and the elf, and then seated to Zargon's right, Zargon's right, the wizard. And on a hero's turn, you may perform any one of the following 6 actions: attack, cast a spell, search for treasure, search for secret doors, search for traps, or disarm a trap. Hero movement. As a hero, you normally begin and end a quest in the room marked with a stairway. The stairway leads you down, 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 deep into the evil stronghold of dread to safely complete a quest. You must return to the stairway, for it is only there that you are truly safe from harm. To determine how many square spaces to move, roll 2 red dice, then move carefully along the corridors and into rooms square by square. On the game board, the corridors are shown in the areas with light gray flooring. Corridors are 1 or 2 squares wide. The rooms are enclosed by white lines, the walls. Heroes are here. Here are the rules of movement. You do not have to move the entire distance indicated by the dice roll. You cannot pass over monsters, move through walls, or move diagonally. You may pass over other heroes. You may only enter rooms through doors. You may not share a square with another hero or with a monster, except when you are on the stairs or in a pit trap. As a hero, while you are moving, you may look down a corridor or through an open door. Looking gives you the opportunity to see what is directly within your line of sight, such as closed doors, blocked lines, blocked square spaces, and monsters. Looking is not one of the 6 actions. On your turn, you may move adjacent to a closed door and ask Zargon to open it. Zargon opens the door by removing the closed door piece and replacing it with an open door piece. I see a lot of game masters just removing the closed door piece. All doors start out closed. Once the door is open, it can never be closed. Getting caught in a trap, drinking potions, and picking things up do not count as actions. They can be done at any time during your turn. Tells you Zargon here, how he reacts. As Zargon, you must carefully watch a hero's movement. Continually refer to the quest map in the quest book when a hero looks down a corridor. Place on the game board any doors, block square tiles, and monsters that are directly within the hero's line of sight. If this line passes through a wall or a closed door, then the miniature or tile is not available. When a hero opens a door, place on the game board the monsters, treasure chests, and any other items that belong in the room. Do not pin any traps on secret doors. Do not reveal any treasures at this time. So there's your movement. And there's a lot here that goes into like line of sight and so on. And it just kind of reiterates the details of the 6 hero actions. We're gonna kind of take a break on reading that, and we're just so I'm kind of curious to know. There's 81 of you folks watching out there. Most of you are watching over on Twitter. Very few of you watching over here on YouTube. But let me ask you a favor. If you're watching over on Twitter, come over here to YouTube. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Join us over on YouTube. Get this channel up to 10,000 subscribers. And then, boys and goyles, we're going to have us a real good time, because at 10,000 subscribers, we're going to make a real gaming convention. That's right, the Guac. Not the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, the Great Underground Overland Gaming Convention. That's right. Lord Misfit, you gave me a like on both. Well, bless your heart, dude. Thank you very much. I mean that in the positive, bless your heart, by the way. Had a real weird day with YouTube Shorts, though. I put 3 up, as I do every day, and they stunk up the joint. They just bombed. Yesterday's didn't do great, but these were just like, oh Lord, what happened? So the first one I put up, it jumped up there. I will admit. It's about Tractics. Now, I didn't know this before I discovered Tractics, but Tractics was the first tabletop game to use a 20-sided die. It was. And then the next one, which I dropped just a couple hours later, about the Empire of the Petal Throne game, War of the Wizards. You guys must have hated that, because that got 294 views, and I posted that thing up hours ago. And then talking about Star Probe. was not great. It's 772 views. Ryan Matthews 5882. Hello, how are you, Ryan? Thank you for stopping by. So basically, the movement system is explained next. There's the 6 things that a hero can do. And when it's your turn, you can do those 6 things. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I mean, we never talk about that subject of matter here. So, and that's nothing on you, Ryan. That's nothing on you in the least. But we're just gonna jeez. See how, we get into movement and movement points. You got facing. It explains line of sight for spell casting, attacks, defense, how monsters defend, buying equipment. You can leap over a pit trap. You can potentially fall into a pit trap. As a hero, if you move onto a falling block trap square, Zargon stops you by saying, "You've just sprung a falling block trap. The ceiling is caving in. Look out." Now, it says you say that. That's pretty on point. So if you played Hero Quest, did you say it exactly like that? You could disarm a trap, just like in D&D. Zargon can attack with monsters. He can cast a dread spell. Only certain monsters may cast a spell. Refer to the quest book for more information. Monsters may not search for treasure. They live there. It belongs to them. Search for secret doors. They live there. They know where they are. Move or attack diagonally. No, they can't do that. Pass over heroes. I'm coming to kill you, not walk past you. Move through walls. Well, I mean, I'm not a ghost. Open or close doors. I think that's a little weak sauce. Share a square on the game board. Monsters do not spring hidden traps. They know where they're at. Therefore, they have no need to search for them or to disarm them. Monsters have a set number of attack dice. Then it goes into how heroes defend. They roll 2 defend dice. Less if in a pit or under certain spells. Each white shield rolled by the defending hero blocks 1 hit from the attacking monster. You can cast a dread spell. Heroes can die. How a hero escapes death. If you have in your possession any potion that can restore life to you, such as a healing potion, you can immediately drink it. This potion will instantly raise your body points above 0, restoring you to life. Well, very good. What happens if you run out of monsters? Some quests may require more monsters than are available in the game. This could happen if the heroes fail to kill monsters. Killing monsters may be used again later in the quest if the quest book calls for their placement. However, all the monsters of a particular type are already on the game board, and you, as Zargon, need to place another one. You may use any monster that is of the same color as the one that should have been used. So, brown rat, brown giant, same thing. So, FM says, Hero Quest is the best way to start a dungeon mastering career. I think it's not a bad way to start. It's a good game. It's a fun game. You find it fairly inexpensively. It's not unobtainium. They kind of hyped it up that it was going to be like, oh yeah, you know, it went out of print 30 years ago. This is your only chance. You can pick it up now. Maybe, maybe not. It's still available. You can still buy it. I think the only thing you can't get are the alt figures for the Joe Manganiello scenario. But you could still get his scenario. Oh, excuse me. So the question, what are my thoughts on setting specific mechanics versus setting agnostic mechanics? Both are fine, depending on what those mechanics are. Now, I'm going to show how bad of a DM I am by saying I would never, I'm going to leave your question up. I would never run like a Macross based game using, say, first edition AD&D rules. Like, yeah, it's the Macross setting. You've got Zentradi, you've got defenders, you got a desperate battle to save what's left of humanity. The SDF-1 sends out squadrons to try and clear the path to return home. And, you know, what are they going to find when they return home? And then there's adventures on Mars and in the asteroid belt, yada, yada, yada. Let's use the AD&D rules. I just think that would be kind of jank. I don't know that that would work. So I think there are systems that where it's just better to use genre specific rules. If you said, you know, I'm feeling like running maybe a supers game, maybe a spy game, maybe an Old West game, I'm not sure, but it's something along those lines, maybe a slice of life, kids on bikes kind of game, I might say hero system. We'll just do it with hero system because it fits all of those. So it's just going to depend on circumstances to whether or not you can apply a system. So now with that said, I love setting specific mechanics. Like, I don't mind setting specific mechanics. I like setting specific mechanics, which is one of the reasons why I love AD&D so much. First edition AD&D is absolutely a Greyhawk game. And I guess that's where we're going to end it tonight, guys. Thank you so much. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing St. Cuthbert. But no, I think setting specific, like I wouldn't run a D&D game using the Mech Warrior rules. And maybe there's really talented DMs out there who are just like, oh man, you got to do this, 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 and that, and this, and the other. And it'll all fit together. And maybe it speaks ill of me that I don't think that I fall into that category. I mean, when I first started checking out Silhouette, the rule system that DreamPod 9 uses for heavy gear, which you guys can't see because, you know, can I? First of all, so yeah, here's the heavy gear rule book. Part of the reason you guys couldn't see it was because I was zoomed in. Here's the heavy gear rule book. As you can see by the front cover, it is very much giant robots. All it talks about is giant robot systems. When I first got this back in the mid 1990s, I immediately jumped on the heavy gear mailing list. You know, I would get an email periodically, and I would send out emails. And one guy mentioned that he loved the silhouette system so much, he was writing a dungeon crawl fantasy game. He took the giant robot adventuring system and started writing a dungeon crawl fantasy game with it. And that's really cool. I've said this, you can take AD&D, use mutants and magic and six guns and sorcery from the Dungeon Master's Guide, and stuff out of Boot Hill and out of Gamma World, and make a science fiction action role-playing game really easily, really super duper easily. It's possible to do, but I'm absolutely okay if you come at me and you're like, this only works with this, like, Mecha Pilot is a skill, or rather is an ability. It is a stat ability, just like intelligence and strength. Sing rock song is a stat. Stuff like that that's baked in. I feel like it is very much it is very, very much okay that there are rule systems like that. I'm at peace with systems like that. And I don't feel like you have to have one or the other. I don't feel like you have to say, oh no, it's got to be an all generic system. I mean, yeah, GURPS, it says it right there on the tin. My thoughts on GURPS are this. GURPS is one of those things, everybody has a GURPS book, but nobody has ever come to me and said, yeah, I played GURPS for years. Lots of people have said, oh yeah, I got the GURPS Ancient Rome book and it informed my D&D game. Or yeah, GURPS Mecha I used for BattleTech. Or, GURPS Old West had some great stuff that I put in my Boot Hill game. But I don't think anyone has ever told me that they just played GURPS. Now, I'm sure somebody's probably going to pop up in the chat and say, no, we played GURPS for 40 years. What are you talking about? Although I will share something that's I think this is kind of funny. See if I can do this without making a mess. Probably not. This is GURPS. This is a GURPS-like game. This is compatible with the Fantasy Trip, Melee, and In the Labyrinth, which slowly grew into GURPS. So yeah, this is kind of one of the first. One of the first here. Dragons of Under-Earth. Maybe this will become our Friday night game. It won't. Our Friday night game will be and remain science fiction, regardless of what we decide to do for the science fiction. Melee and Wizard, they were two elements of In the Labyrinth, a fantasy role-playing game created by Steve Jackson back in the day. Sorry. GURPS is the candy corn of RPG. It's like everybody has it, but nobody actually likes it. Is that what you're saying? The one GURPS book that I would actually love to have is GURPS Ringworld, just because it's just stupid, rare, and expensive. I would sell it. That's basically what it is. I would sell it if I had a copy of GURPS Ringworld. I'd be like, "Hello, collectors." I don't. North of the Rockies, I do not. I didn't even, that's the first time I've ever heard of it. You agree you use GURPS to create some specific adventure, but in some very crazy setting, but never for long periods. I've talked about this before. There are role-playing games that are built for longevity. My AD&D campaigns went for like 3 years, and the current game has been going for like 8 years. The current campaign, I should say. We started playing 11 years ago, 12 this coming this coming summer. Dave Mills cutting right to the quick. GURPS may taste like pumpkin pie, but I'll never know because I won't play that filthy MFR. Yeah. But Cuthbert, I don't know yet. I don't know yet what time they've got me slotted in. I need to look at their spreadsheet. I will talk about that more on the show. But no, there are just rule systems. Like, I don't think you could play a 10-year campaign of Dragons of Under Earth. Maybe you could. But I've known people who've run like long-running campaigns of Leading Edge Games Aliens, the RPG, and have never been able to get out of their own road. Like, 3 or 4 sessions into AD&D, and then we're like, yeah, we're going to do something else. So, I mean, you can make anything into a long-running campaign if you really want to put your heart and soul into it. You want to play Ghostbusters and say you've got a 12-year running campaign and you can pull it off? Great. It's all about you and what your players want for length of campaign. I just think there are systems that are conducive to it. It's like I could go to Lowe's and buy all the stuff I need to do renovations and repairs on my house and bring it home. It just wouldn't be practical to do in our little Honda Civic. It's okay, Dave. We're here for you, buddy. It just wouldn't be practical to do. And there are things that are, it's forcing the square peg into the round hole. It's like, how do I manage player characters that have become too powerful? Good question. Too powerful for what? There is no problem that a character can present to me that I cannot throw enough huge ancient red dragons, deities, demigods, AS-7D Atlas, nuclear weapons, super mutants, Doctor Doom plots, Wild Bunch bandits, or whatever I need to get the situation under control. Level 20 wizard. Well, at that point, they're not a wizard anymore. They're an archmage or archmage. But, I mean, they're going to run out of spells. Oh, but they're going to have a lot of magic items. I'm not sending 100 kobolds in after a 20th level wizard. He'll wipe out 3/4 of them and have the remaining 1/4 working for him in a couple of rounds. Bodax riding displacer manticores. This game master is my kind of scum, ruthless and inventive. Ho, 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 ho. Area effect spells, someone will fail, then make all items save. Some will fail. That's right. That's right. Don't let them get that far to begin with. So here's the thing. Munchkinny players are born from the loins, lady from the loins of Monty Hall game masters. It's true. They got that powerful because you let it happen. Did you charge for leveling up? Now we're easing up on Chesterson's fence. Did you charge for leveling up? They could go out and win 500,000 gold or the treasure equivalent thereof. Can they spend it all? Yes, GURPS is a D6 system, Jay. GURPS, like Hero System, is like a big brick of D6. But yeah, no, if your player characters have gotten too powerful, it's because you let them get too powerful. You did not heed the warning signs. You didn't look at the rules and figure out what you needed to do. Exorbitant fees for recharging wands and staves. That's a good start. Now, at some point, the players are going to kapwing things. They're going to figure out what to do. An easy point of view is scribe a bunch of low power scrolls to always have to fob off if you need easy treasure. Yeah, ensure that they have to train. Oh, hey, man, I did the math. I've got 600,001 XP. I can level up. Okay, so you'll be leaving the dungeon now? You'll be taking a trip back to town? Yeah, and level drain. I'm not one of those people that goes pearl clutch. Like, even people that I thought were like dyed in the wool grognards, it floors me. They're, oh, I would never do level drain. Why the fuck not? Oh, I dropped an F-bomb. Dang it. Gonna get demonetized. Why wouldn't you? Seriously. It's right there. Do it, you coward. Have him get a big smoochy smooch from a white. Shake hands with a specter. Waltz with a wraith. Powerful opponents will notice powerful adversaries. Look in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Look what you can encounter on level 10 and below in dungeons. Demon lords and princes and devils in multiples. Well, they don't level drain you. They just age you north of the Rockies. But yeah. Have I ever allowed PCs to level up while in a dungeon when they have earned enough XP to do so, even if not to aid a struggle of party? No. No, I don't do it. You can quit the dungeon and go home and train, or you can tough it out. It's up to you. Home is where the leveling up goes on. And if it's going to be a 4-week ride for that character, have another character ready to play in their stead. That's what I say. But I could be wrong. I'm just the dungeon delver. But no, I would not let a character just level up in the middle of a dungeon. I don't like the idea. Then the Wraith is absent for a couple levels and they lose all that latent XP. Yeah, there you go. But I mean, if you peruse the Dungeon Master's Guide, there are ample places and ways for player characters to get a little bit over on the Game Master. Is there an upgraded version of Flask of no, not in first edition AD&D. You as a DM are welcome to introduce them. I personally think a mandatory 2d6 on a hit and then a 1d6 in the round thereafter, that's 3 to 18 points of damage, unavoidable. I think that's fine. Y'all, pardon me for just a minute. I really don't want my Hero Quest stuff to bend and flex under its own weight. I'll get that back in the box. So talk amongst yourselves. Oh, and speaking of that oil and whatnot, something to remember, have monsters throw it back at the players. Just be unafraid to do it. Because at that point, it's FAFO. Flame abounds, flame on. One of the things that I found since I started doing this, and one of the reasons I found dead the idea of I'll show you guys first edition AD&D Raw is how many people have said to me in my shows, like when I was doing deep dives on the rules, oh, that's a rule in D&D. We never did that. We did this. And this was something that was really kind of unbalanced and munchkin-y. And unbalanced and munchkin-y is not necessarily a bad thing, but when you start pulling at that thread, again, Chesterton's fence, you open the fence and you're gored to death by a bull. Why does this have to stay closed? Ugh. So I've found that it kind of surprised me the number of players that were like, surprised by the things I was putting down, if you will. They were like, oh, I didn't know that could happen. Yes, it can. How could you not know that's what happens? It's in the rule book. Oh, well, my cousin Tommy didn't like that, and we didn't do it back in 1983 like that. And this is the same game where you started on Friday as first level characters, and by late Sunday night, you were all 20th level and had murdered everyone in the Keep on the Borderlands. That game, yeah, there's a reason it came so easy to you, and everyone was a pushover. And I'm not scolding people for having fun wrong or anything, except you were, and I am. I just feel that if you go by rules as written, there's so much fun stuff in there as written. Think of it this way. You guys know the video game Half-Life? Phenomenal video game. Joe Facetious, 28 months. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Think of Half-Life, the video game. If all you know about Half-Life is speedrunning techniques through the game, and you finally sit down one day, I dropped a counter, and you play it through, you listen to the audio on the tram system, you stop and look around, and you're like, hey, there's that G-Man guy over there. It opens up a type of gameplay you haven't been doing. And as a huge fan of Half-Life, one thing I can tell you is there is an incredible game in there that deserves attention, good attention, positive attention. Favorite levels for PCs and A&D is 2 to 5. Everything is new. Growth is felt. I'm close to that. 4 to 7. 4 to 7. I think 4 to 7 is the sweet spot for me. Because at 4 to 7, you're starting to look at places like the Slave Lords, the Giant series, the Temple of Elemental Evil, thinking we can take that place on, or White Plume Mountain, or what have you. So that's where I am in terms of levels. Have I ever tried animating Larry Elmore's illustrations with the AI? Wow. I have not. I have not ever done that. I tried doing it on Dave Trampier's A Miracle the Chaotic, and I was completely unsatisfied with what it did. And I don't say that because I'm one of those people that just naturally hates AI. I just didn't get good results. I just did not like the outcome. Sorry, I'm just trying to put this back together here, guys. We've got 117 folks watching. I think we are back to the normal. Like I was saying earlier, if you kind of missed it, last night we had like 114 people watching just on YouTube. Tonight, a lot less so. A lot less so tonight. And that's not a complaint. That's not a complaint. It is merely an observation. It is merely an observation that I make. Okay. There we go. There we go. Ta-da! A cracking reboxing. Level 0 funnels are a freaking blast. Kind of. I mean, to me, I think the level 0 funnels are a bit more. I don't know. Like every once in a blue moon, you do it. Like, not everybody showed up tonight, so let's find something to do. Haha, this could be funny for a yoink, Need a more optimal way to put the board in here. Painting with BO, or painting with Bo, sorry. Painting with Bo. Moved into your new place and thought you lost your first edition deities and demigods. Dude, I am so glad you found that. That is awesome. That is fantastic. Congrats. When did it come? North of the Rockies, when did it come out? I know you just said current edition, but you'll have to tell me when it came out. And I just crushed the corner of my HeroQuest board. That sucks. So I'm going to put that there. No, because it's going to squash the bottom. Am I currently running any games? Yes, many. Ostensibly, we're just kind of coming back from the holidays, so we haven't really started up here on the channel yet. But Tuesday nights we play first edition AD&D. Friday nights we play a science fiction game. We have just concluded a many years run of Gamma World. Wednesday nights when school isn't in session and when school is in session and Kyle has his mornings free because he's on the other side of the planet. We play whatever Kyle wants to run. And I have a private AD&D game that I run on Monday nights. Did I back the Memorial Tomb? No, did not have the money at the time. Did not have the money at the time. I know Ben personally. I think he's a great guy. I think if you backed it, you got something awesome. I know it took a long time to come out. I think, knowing what I know about Ben, I think he was committed to creating something that was just otherworldly kind of good. And, maybe in that he was tilting at windmills. So what was the question? Fifth edition Talisman. I'm waiting for North of the Rockies to swing back by. Switching from the Eternal DM to a player in second ed Ravenloft. Do I have any advice regarding Ravenloft? Just have fun with it. It's a meat grinder. It's a slaughter map, if you know what that term is in Dooms. Okay, so 5th edition came out last year. I don't have any opinions about it. I played the Talisman re-release like back 15 years ago when it came out then. Talisman's not my jam. I don't think it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's bad. I'm just saying it's not necessarily my game of choice. So there you go. There's your answer. All right, now we're going to put this away. I do have like a free RPG Day sample dungeon from Marmorial Tomb around here somewhere. There we go. And now I'm going to put the two quest packs on it. One thing, I wish I played more Hero Quest. I wish I had more time to play more Hero Quest. But alas, I don't. Could it be my jelly or my preserve? Unto excess, greetings. And again, 22 people watching over on YouTube and 101 watches on X. But yeah, I'm just not the world's biggest fan of Talisman. So as you guys know, and you know, I kind of probably could have and should have taken tonight to discuss it a little bit, but as you may or may not know, this April, and I will tell you when, the weekend from the 9th to the 12th of April, the 9th to the 12th of April, is the GWOC, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. It is a game con held on Discord, sponsored by me. There are no entry fees or no badge fees. There's no cost to you whatsoever. As a gamer, I would love to see you there. Yes, I hit 112 on YouTube last night. It's back where it normally is. There's like 22 of you guys watching. I guess 112 people just was a fluke. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was not. I honestly wish I did a better job and more people watched the show, but I don't, and they don't. And that's just how that is. Anyway, there is the Discord channel for the GWOC. And it is a 24-hour con. If you're overseas, from me, if you're in the UK, if you're in Asia, wherever you are, the con is open. You guys can absolutely roll in at a time that's convenient for you, schedule a game that's convenient for you, and play. There's no cost for badges. We do have merch. We will have merch this year. I'm going to share up the merch real soon. Probably when I get back from Philly, week after next. But yeah, our little game con is pretty good. We have panels. We're going to have Richard Witters. We're going to have, hopefully things will have settled down enough that we can have the lovely and talented Alyssa Hazel, Tracy Lesh in our writers panel, Eric Garland and Heidi Gygax Garland. Hopefully we can get a lot of people in here and we can have a lot of fun at the virtual con. There's no cost to you. Registration is just going to that Discord and joining it. You do that, hey, congratulations, you're in. You are officially in the Discord, or you're officially at the convention. I am going to do a tutorial, a how to get to your games, how to do stuff basically at your at the con. I'm going to do a special event for that, so I hope you guys will jump on and just come to the con and have a good time, because I'm going to have a good time. But yeah, signing up for a game is literally just going into games and clicking the little green check mark. It RSVPs you for the game. You'll get notifications when your game starts, where it's at, and just ka-ching, ka-chow, and you're joined. Seth Skorkowski. What about Seth Skorkowski? Joe Facetious, I will set you on fire. I will throw a flammable liquid on you and then an ignition source. The Guac, Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, is what I run. BillCon, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I would love to have Jeff Talanian back this year. We had Jeff on in a panel last year. That was tons of fun. No, I did not add 100 subs since yesterday. If I had 100 subs, I would blot. What I have added since yesterday, since you are bringing up analytics, you did this to yourself. Since yesterday, let's go last 7. We have added 15 since yesterday. We ended up yesterday with 8,903 was the final tally. And so far today, we've added 8,918. Love the nod to Zork. Where? But I will tell you this is kind of fun. So if we do a view of last 90 days, and we go back to when I started doing YouTube shorts at the beginning of November, channel was kind of moribund, because between October 9th and we'll say October 31st, Let me see. Can I math this out? $74.84 minus 70. Yeah, we gained 70, which is a little, that's like 2.5 a day. On November 2nd, I started doing YouTube shorts. We jumped up 4 in a day. On the 3rd, after that day's 3 shorts, we jumped up another 5. And then 3, and I was like, oh, okay. But then something wonderful happened right around November the 10th. The algorithm started to notice. And in that time, in the last 90 days, we have jumped up about 1,500 subscribers. Thanks for hanging out, FM. Oh, great. Okay. I thought that might be it. Will there be a session on how to Crom? I can talk to you guys about Crom right now if you want. We can wind up talking about Crom. For those of you who don't know, Crom is the character record online manager, or online management system. It is a first edition AD&D specific character creation tool. Runs on Windows 9, runs on Windows 8, 8.1, 10, and 11, 32, or 64-bit. It runs through Wine and will run on Linux or on Mac OS. Show them my shorts. But Crom doesn't just create first edition AD&D characters. The key element in Crom is the M at the end. Management. Crom will let you level up characters, buy equipment for characters, dual class characters. If your character can dual class, it'll check for psionics. It'll let you become a bard. You can age your character. You can add XP. You can level drain your characters. You can sell gems and sell jewelry. It saves in HTML or in text. Let me show it to you guys. I'm kind of proud of it. That's R1. I want R2. Is it an AD&D? I'm going to have to unpack it. Unless I have it in documents. Oh, not in that folder. Well, maybe I just have. I'm going to put this in AD&D because that's where it belongs. And we're going to unpack it. Crom laughs at you. Yes. Crom laughs at your paper character sheets. Let's see. Let me see something here, guys. Bear with me. We're just going to do it there. How about that? All right. So here we go. So this then, boys and girls, let me, I'm going to increase that terminal size so you guys can see it a little bit better. Whoops, that's not, Crom does not care about that. Let's try that again. Properties, 28, how about that? There we go. That's a little bit more visible. Screen, window, share. So this is Crom. Have I ever considered having a live guest in my studio? I've done it a couple of times before. Harmony Ginger is proximate to me, and I have had her live on the show, and I've had Mrs. the Dungeon Delver on the show. There are a few people who are proximate to me, but those are the only people that I've had come on the show. How much time did I invest creating Crom? Months. Crom was a months long thing. Yes, Crom is a terminal program. So here we go. So it's very simple. Create, load, or save. We're going to create. There are the 4 stat generation methods and a manual entry method if you want to roll the math clicky clacks and go from there. But the easiest way to do it is method 3. Method 3 produces the best characters. So we're going to do 3. And we come out with some pretty okay stats. We have strength 14, intelligence 13, wisdom 12, dexterity 16, constitution 15, charisma 14. We've got a pretty able character there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do half elf. Racial advantages, infravision 60 feet, 30% resistance to sleep and charm, detect secret doors, 1 in 6 when passing, 2 in 6 when searching, detect concealed doors, 3 in 6 chance. You have selected half elf. Are you sure? Yes. Choose gender, male or female. We'll go ahead, male. And here's our options. Cleric, fighter, magic user, thief, assassin, cleric, fighter, magic user, cleric, magic user, fighter, thief, magic user, thief, fighter, magic user, thief. I don't know, guys. I'm feeling if we're going to get level capped as a 6 level fighter or a 6 level magic user, we might as well take thief. Right? We might as well do thief. Rendog, you can do 3d6 down the line via the manual input. But the 4 methods of character generation that Crom offers are the 4 that are presented in AD&D. They are the 4 methods that are presented in AD&D as character generation methods. And as you will find as you watch, this hews very close to first edition AD&D, if not precisely so. So let's go ahead and do Fighter, Magic User, Thief. No exceptional strength. Enter level for Fighter. We're going to do 1 for Magic User, 1, and for Thief, 1. Now, we have 7 proficiencies. I had somebody ask me the other day, they were like, whoa, proficiencies is broken. Shouldn't it just be averaging them out? No. When you multi-class in AD&D, you automatically get all of the proficiencies available to all of your classes. So you have 7 proficiencies left to select. What I like to do with magic users, multi-class magic users, is get all of their weapon proficiencies out of the way straight away. So if we go to melee, we can do dagger. Now you'll notice dagger has disappeared off of the list. That is because I didn't want people to accidentally cook 2 of the same. All right, so let's go back. Let's get ranged. And let's do darts. Now, right out of the chute, a magic user couldn't use all these, but we've got a Fighter, Magic User, Thief. So let's go back. And last but not least, let's go sticks. And we will do a, let's see. We will do a quarterstaff. And let's go back. Now we have 4 proficiencies left. Now let's go into melee. And let's pick, say, I don't know, a bastard sword. And a long sword. Let's pick some ranged stuff. Let's go with a light crossbow. Short bow. And then we're done. Now we have 280 gold piece. Yes, Bill has stick. It won't work. It literally just will say, no, you're not at level 0. Yeah, don't do that. You have to pick a number between 1 and 30, and it has to be valid for your class. You can't be like, oh, 30th level and you're capped at 6. It won't let you do that. Now, this is kind of a delicate time. Make sure you've got your weapons. So let's get weapons first. We said bastard sword and long sword, right? So let's do melee. So 12 and 14. And let's get a dagger. Let's get sticks. Let's get that quarterstaff. Let's go over to ranged weapons. Let's get darts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because you get a rate of fire of 3 on the darts. We're going to get a short bow. We're going to get a dozen normal arrows. And we're going to get a dozen silver arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. So we have our weapons ranged, melee. We're good to go. Now, let's buy some armor. All right, well, let's go back. Let's buy some armor. Actually, we're going to buy some livestock first. We're going to buy we have 203. We could actually buy a light warhorse. And as tempted as I am to do that, I'm not going to. We're going to buy a light horse. We're going to be done. We're going to buy tack and harness. We're going to get bit and bridle, harness, saddle blanket, large saddle bags. Now we're going to go buy armor. Yes, a light horse, like a hologram. Now we're going to buy armor. And we're a fighter. We can wear anything we want, but understand it's going to impact thiefly abilities. So I see this guy more as a fighting magic user who can, if necessary, pick a lock than a cut purse. So let's do banded mail and a small shield. Let's be done. Now, miscellaneous equipment and items. We're going to get a small helm. We're going to get a silver dagger. No, we're not. Well, let's get thieves' tools before we do that, before we spend something so extravagant. We're going to get a backpack. We're going to get some flasks of oil. We're going to get flint and steel. We're going to get a torch, a water skin, 50 feet of rope. We're going to get a couple of quivers. 4, 5, 6. We're going to get 6 iron spikes. We're going to get a leather scroll case. We're going to be done. We're going to buy some provisions. We're going to buy iron rations, a week's worth. We're going to buy standard rations, a week's worth. And we are done. And we're done shopping. Are we sure? Yes. And you can see all of their inventory right there. Check for psionics? No, because he's not a human. Choose your alignment. We're going to go for neutral good. Enter a name for your character. Didn't get anything to bash skeletons. Yeah. Rem dog. Adjusted for race and dexterity, we have pickpockets, open locks, find, remove traps, move silently, hide in shadows, hear noise, and climb walls. All listed there. And we're going to save it as HTML. I have purposes. Yes, we're going to load. Remdog. And there we have Remdog. Three hit points. He's a fighter, magic user, thief, neutral good, male elf. or male half elf rather. He is heavily laden. Look at all that equipment. He's carrying 142 pounds of gear. He is restricted to 30 feet of movement in the dungeon. Thank goodness he's got that constitution adjustment. Otherwise, he'd only have 2 hit points. Gets a slight armor class adjustment. That's nice. But from here, we can level him up, add XP, drain level, change stats, new alignment, sell gems, add money, begin dual classing if he's got the ability, weapon proficiency, purchase more equipment, age him, save, and quit. So we're going to quit for now. Oh, his spell book's already been generated. Thank you, great old ones. We'll see you around. So let us go and look in that folder and look at that character. This is the cool part. I'd rather like this. So behold, folks, if you will, here he is, Remdog. Show hit point calculation. There's all of his hit points calculated, divided by the number of classes he's got. Armor class is 1. Very good. The little bit of coin he's got left. Here's all of his stuff. There's a float error in there for arrows. I need to squash that. Just if you're using this at home, ignore the zeros and the float bug. My apologies. Magic user spells. Here are his spells. Hold portal, read magic, shield, shocking grasp, and write. So that's what he can do in terms of spells. If you get the stats, how would I serve up a bard? Well, you know what? Let's do that real quick. We'll wrap up the evening with looking at bard, and we're gonna cheat a little bit. We're gonna cheat just a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead. Let's add this again. I saw somebody out there mention Mythbusters. I'm not a huge fan of Mythbusters. It started off busting some oh, it's a myth that, you can do this, that, and the other. And they started getting this stuff. I was like, wait a minute. No, I heard X, Y, and Z. And of course, urban legends get silly and they deserve to be debunked. But I fail to see with the Mythbusters, how are you busting a myth to take a dummy out and could you survive if you were sitting in an office chair and 50 pounds of dynamite blew up on her? No, and who thinks that? But when you've got a big budget and you can blow stuff up, Joe facetious, exactly. But what did it for me? I live in Florida. Lots of scuba divers in Florida. Rated tank divers. Literally one of the first news reports I remember hearing on the local news was over in Brevard County, where I lived at the time. A gentleman dropped his diving tank in his garage. It exploded. It cost him his life. And they did an episode on Mythbusters where they said diving tanks don't explode. They just don't explode. Now, it was about Jaws. And they didn't say diving tanks don't explode if shot. They said diving tanks can't explode. And whoever was with them was talking about diving tanks, who should have known better, said, yeah, diving tanks don't explode. I went over to the forum on Discovery Channel and I said, I hate to be that guy, because the actually meme wasn't a thing at the time, but here it is. Modded right. First of all, jumped on by posters there. This is not reliable. It could have been a gas line. You don't know. And I'm like, but here's more things. And then just mod it out. Diving tanks absolutely explode. If they're overpressured and then drained down normally, the temperature differential that happens when you cram gas into something can crystallize and stress the metal. Because the contention from Richard Dreyfuss's character, Matt Hooper, was when one of Quint's men mishandles a diving tank when they're loading up the Orca, he was like, that can explode. And they harped on that scene and say, well, diving tanks can't explode. Yes, diving tanks absolutely can explode. And then when I just kind of started picking at things with the show, I started looking at stuff that I was like, how is this a myth? How no one thought this. And then obviously provably incorrect things. But the one that stuck with me was the diving tank. I've seen them do some silly stuff, like NVIDIA hired them to bust a myth about NVIDIA video processors. They basically had a robot controlled paintball gun that drew a colorful smiley face with paintballs on a canvas. And then they built an array of paintball tubes to blast a Mona Lisa image onto a canvas all at once and said, everybody else's video cards draw images like this, and NVIDIA cards do this. So the myth is that any other video card can work this way. Well, that's so mind-bogglingly stupid. Every video card uses frame buffering. No video card draws stuff one pixel at a time. I just, again, I'm sorry, Mythbusters sucked. About the best thing I ever saw them do was, because these are actual urban legend myths, was busting the moon landing conspiracy theories. I appreciated that. But yeah, I mean, they were having fun. They were having fun. All right. So somebody asked about creating bards. We need a good set of stats to create a bard with. So we're going to have to create Improbabard. So let's do create. And we're going to do manual entry this time. So we're going to do strength 17, intelligence 17, wisdom 16, dexterity. I hope I just didn't screw myself with a wisdom. Dexterity, 18, constitution 18, charisma 18. The guy who shows up at your table with this character and says that I made this with Crom, he might have made it with Crom. That's it. It's going to be Brad the Bard. All right, so Brad's going to have to be human. We selected human. Yes. Male. So we're going to start as a fighter. Level for fighter 1. We're not going to bother with proficiencies because we're looking at the bard mechanic. Yeah, let's check for psionics just for S and Gs. No, we did not get psionics. Check your alignment. It's going to have to be neutral, so we're going to do neutral good. We're going to do Brad. All right, and we're going to do HTML. Brad, yes. Load Brad. All right, so here's Brad, and we're going to start leveling Brad. So 1, yes, 2, yes, 3, yes, 4, yes, 5, yes, 6, yes, 7, yes. All right. We've leveled up Brad. He's got 57 hit points. But look over here. Now we have the option to begin dual class. So let's do that. Begin dual class. Begin dual classing this character. Yes. Let's see. Special dual class fighter to thief is available for bard progression. So we're going to do thief. And we're going to start leveling up. Level, yes. Level, yes. Level, yes. We can scroll up a little bit. We're at 8.7, so we can now become a bard. Become a bard, yes. And now here we are. We are a probationer. We have 1 druid spell. There's our legend lore, charm percentage, additional languages. And that's how you do it. That's how you become a bard. And let's see, bard abilities. Let's save this character. We've done all of this, and then I'll show you guys the HTML sheet. Save HTML. One thing I'm going to warn you guys about, it will absolutely raw dog a character sheet out of existence. So if you have 2 Bob the Fighters, if you're like, I love Bob the Fighter, and then you go and you create another, I love this new Bob the Fighter too, and you save it, it's not going to save it as Bob the Fighter parens 1. It's going to nuke the first one. It's going to stomp on it. Oh, you're quite welcome, Rem Dog. So yeah, so we come over here. I don't know where that went. Key documents, AD&D, Chrome S2. Okay. AD&D, Chrome S2. I did have it in there. Here's Brad. And I will share this with y'all, and then I will probably wrap up. Where are you guys at? Uh-oh. Here we go. StreamYard. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this. Add to stage. Oops, wrong one. Stop sharing, present, share screen, share screen, share screen. And there is Brad the Bard. You can just see right there on the sheet. He is a human male. Rhymer, neutral good. Look at all of his awesome stats. Hit point calculation. Boom, right there. Saving throws. His movement rate. bardic abilities, all that jazzmatazz down there. And that's how you do it. That's how you create a bard. Guys, if you're curious, uh, you can buy a copy of Crom, 25 USD. Easiest purchase you'll ever make. You get all future updates, upgrades, bug fixes, patches, everything for free. $25 for a single seat. It is the premiere. It is the first. It is the last word in first edition AD&D. And you just drop me an email, bsylvia@gmail.com, and we'll make arrangements. That's my PayPal. All right, guys, you're welcome, Rem Dog. I'm going to go ahead and dip out of here tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. Tomorrow night, Dean from Untold Destiny will be here. That's right. He will be here. We will have a guest, our first guest of 2026. Will be on the show, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys will tune in. But for now, the one thing, and people have asked me about this with the character sheet is levels for different kinds of things. And guys, I'm just here to inform you, sadly, that you cannot yet make an owlbear character with Crom. Maybe someday. Peace. Good night. I love you all.
Have you seen my owlbear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owlbear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.